This podcast is powered by the Mitt TV of Romeo, Michigan. If you're looking to start a podcast for your business or personal use, look no further than Mitt TV. They can get you access to equipment, a production engineer, and can even edit your podcast. That's all right here at Mitt TV of Romeo, Michigan, and you can contact them right now via email at mitt.tvromeo@gmail.com. That's mitt.tvromeo@gmail.com. Well, welcome everybody. I'm Kelly Stevens with the Northern Macomb Regional Chamber, and I am joined today with Pat Bruin from Action Insurance, Anna All Rivard from Rivard and Associates, and then Michael Romano from Tech City / Audio Century.
Right on.
So we're here today. The topic this week is the profile of a thriving chamber member. The board sat down about it. Well, we launched it last year, but it took us about 18 months to come up with a strategic plan. And a lot of thought process went into what is a profile of a thriving chamber member. And we've come up with number one is reputable, shows passion for the community, is reliable and accountable in their work, is honest and credible in their beliefs and actions, has a positive approach and demeanor, and demonstrates integrity and leadership. We like to see that in our members. So the next part that we came up with is dedicated, commits to continuing membership, seeks to leverage pertinent member benefits, is involved in a variety of chamber offerings, and values a service-oriented approach. The third character we see is connected, builds strong relationships in the community, promotes and participates in networking opportunities, gains access to valuable member resources, and leverages the expertise of the membership. The next level is community engaged, is informed about and understands local municipal activities, supports schools, nonprofits, local businesses, and industries, participates in community events, and provides a positive impact. And finally, the last one was growth-minded, shares valuable resources with the chamber community, seeks opportunities for professional development, embraces the value of mentorship, and collaborates with like-minded professionals. So that's what we want everybody to look like, right?
Oh, that's not saying a lot.
So I'm going to start with Pat. Pat, you joined the chamber moons ago. I kind of feel like this is your second tour, right? You served on the board back in the 90s, right?
I did.
Talk about your experience a little bit.
Well, I'm a transplant.
I do know that.
So I didn't know Romeo. And this was the best way for me to get to know Romeo. The office I was working in at the time was right downtown Romeo. And I felt like I needed to know more about the community and find out how I could fit into the community. This has been just a fantastic opportunity for me to get to know people, to get people to know me and know what kind of person I am and know that they can rely on me. The networking group has been fantastic for me. The ambassadorship is great because it gets me out to ribbon cuttings to meet the new people. And I've just enjoyed learning what my community is all about because this is my work environment. When the office I was working for closed, had it not been for the chamber, I probably wouldn't still be here. But it was my involvement in the chamber that got me a job at Action Insurance Service.
I do remember that. Yep.
It's been just a fantastic growth opportunity.
So I'm going to go this way because we're going to the oldest, middle, and then the new one over here. So Michael, tell me your story because you've had all the roles, right?
I got All right, where do we start? Well, my family's business, Audio Century, goes back 65 years now. My father started that company back in the late 50s. And I grew up with 7 brothers and sisters. And out of the 8 of us, the 5 of us brothers followed in my father's footsteps to help him grow our alarm company. The stories that have been handed down to me when I came along is that we had been doing work in this community many years ago with what used to be the Michigan State Police Post, and that's now the admin building for the or the Historical Society. Yep. Thank you, Kelly. Yep. And anyways, when I came along or decided to, when we found a home or started to build here in Romeo was back in 1999. I got married in June of 2000, and first order of business once we got settled in was to find my way into town, where I bumped into the director of the chamber at that time, Joyce, and introduced myself and asked how I could help. And she immediately, like Joyce would, happy to hear of anybody that would want to volunteer any of their time.
She could wrangle you.
Oh, she could wrangle, yeah.
Into volunteering, right?
That must have, yeah, it perked her ears up right away, and I think I helped her that day. She put me to work in cleaning out the area that she was setting up shop with. She was very good at that, improvising. Nonetheless, in short order, immediately became a ambassador for the Chamber of Commerce. And if I can back up just a bit, I know another story that was handed down is when Sterling Heights Chamber of Commerce formed. My family's business was one of the founding members of the Sterling Heights Chamber of Commerce. So we have a long-standing history, family business supporting chambers of commerce and Kiwanis groups. My father was a past president of the Utica Shelby Kiwanis group years ago. We had a spinoff of that group called Great Expectations, which I was president of for a while. I was involved with Optimist clubs and various networking groups. But somewhere along the line, from chamber ambassador, became chairman of the ambassadors and helped steer that group. And then we formed the TNT groups, kind of on the coattails of a brag group that was started down in Sterling Heights. And that's when I think Pat and I started Tuesday's group, I recall, and it just kind of snowballed and blossomed from there. So, yeah, beyond that, I made my way up the ladder to become president of the Chamber of Commerce after being involved on the board of directors for a number of years. And I was president from 2006 to 2007 or eight.
Kept you on in 2 years.
Yeah, terms as president. Yeah.
Do you know why? Do you remember?
I know I just kind of got thrown into it, but
2 weeks into his presidency in January of 2006, the then Director Joyce announces she's leaving in 2 weeks.
Yeah, that was the first order of my holding a first meeting as president.
Yes.
Yeah, that was fun. But we made it through, through thick and thin, and we managed. That was, again, many moons ago, but here we are as a result of that. And thank God for the chamber, and us keeping it all together to maintain the uniformity and the community contact and whatnot, and keep everything going. That was a fun time, somewhat like a roller coaster, but we made it through, and here we are, many years later. But nonetheless, I can tell you, in not knowing anybody here in the business community at the time and being new to the area, it was probably the best thing that I could have done at the time, because it immediately connected me with the pulse of what was going on with the businesses and the business people and the leaders in this area, northern Macomb County. It was a step in the right direction for sure. Putting me, in communicate or direct connection with all the leaders around the area. And I would tell you, as a result of that, you never know where life's going to take you. Everybody's doing their own thing, but there had been so many opportunities, and some of the largest opportunities came from some of the smallest events that I attended with the chamber. We had started an event years ago called Bagels and Brew, if you guys remember that. Mm-hmm. And that was just an idea or suggestion that came about after we had won a similar contest through WOMC at Audio Century. And I thought it was a unique or kind of cool idea. And our concept was we would deliver bagels and coffee four times throughout the year, and it was a themed, event. So if it was in the summertime, we'd bring it in bagels on a surfboard. If it was in the wintertime, we'd bring them into your business on a snowboard or
She did
something.
like her themes, didn't she?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it was a fun time. But nonetheless, the smallest events. So I guess my point is, if you put forth the effort a little bit without even trying that hard, and for any of the new members coming in, my best suggestion would be try the different events beyond the meetings. Apply yourself and see, and just even if you're there to assist or help out, and if you ask if you can do something for the director or that event coordinator at that time, don't let that be the last time that you ask. Sometimes we're so caught up in planning the event that you forget the resources, and it takes a while to get to know somebody and all the things that they can do. And the things that they've got other talents for. People wear so many different hats in this community. Here's one of mine. And you're asked to do so many
why that was
different
on your
things.
head.
Yeah, I got my Romeo hat here, and I've got my work hat. But nonetheless, I think we all wear a bunch of different hats in this community, and just keep trying, and you'll find something that fits for you or your business. I didn't know that I was going to be building 3 or 4 different businesses after I started off as everybody's alarm guy. Now I've got the computer company in town. I ran a trolley business along with a couple other partners for a while, and I had Mike's meeting room. And I recall just going recently through some papers that I was part of 4 businesses on top of being part of the chamber at one point, and I'm glad that that's over. It's down to whittled down to 2 instead of 4. So yeah, that's I can honestly say that it's been a step in the right direction, and it really helped guide my career path and what we're doing and what we have to offer today.
Anna, one of our newest members here at the table, tell me what brought you to the chamber.
Well, let's see. So, I'm Keller Williams Lakeside, and then our team is Rivard All and Associates. And when my husband and I joined our businesses together a couple years ago and started working out of the Romeo office, my Aunt Donna All from North End Tax and Accounting, she had urged us to, you have to join the chamber, you have to join the chamber. Oh, yeah, we'll do it. I added to the list. And I'd see her again, you got to join the chamber, you got to join the chamber. So I did. I joined the chamber, and I didn't really do a whole lot with it at first. I didn't really know what to do. And there was a wait for the TNT groups, right? Because we're industry exclusive, which is really nice. And so I had a little bit of a wait line, and then when there was an opening on the Wednesday group, I joined the Wednesday group, and Scott and I have been attending, and we've made so many great connections through that. I had no idea why she was urging me so much to join the chamber is because there are so many people and businesses and networking, and this holds true. They're reputable people, they're dedicated, they're all growth minded, and they're all like-minded people to what you're trying to do. And so you can collaborate to grow your business. And we've done nothing but since, and the Northern Chamber has definitely been a huge part of that.
So all 3 of you, well, yeah, you did join the ambassadors. You have all joined the ambassador. We have a longstanding one here. Michael just referred to it. So what have you seen in your business through being an ambassador, Pat?
Well, again, as an ambassador, I get to meet the new people as they do their ribbon cuttings, and it just opens the door to more contacts, and it opens the door to more relationships. And insurance is pretty relationship oriented. as with real estate.
Yes.
People need to feel that they can trust you, and they won't get there if they don't get a chance to meet you in a less formal setting. And as an ambassador, it's always an informal setting where you can get to know people and interact with a wide variety of people from the community. It's great for business, but it's also great for you personally as you develop new relationships.
Anna?
I could speak from both sides of that, because I remember before I knew what an ambassador was, when I received a phone call and somebody just asked me a few questions about how I was doing and how my business was doing from the chamber. And I didn't really know at the time what that phone call was all about, but I thought, hey, they care. They want to know what I'm doing, and they're interested in my business. And now, as an ambassador recently joining, I've realized that those are the connections, then that's how you keep people connected. I don't know how many people we have in the chamber, but I know that it's quite a few at this point. And so being able to reach out to a business that I don't really have any affiliation yet at that time, to be able to reach out and have questions to ask them and a reason to call, and then by the end of the conversation, you're laughing and having a great time, and scheduling to meet for a coffee. It's fabulous. It's a great way. It's a reason to reach out and just show your connection to the community.
Absolutely. And Michael, I guess you would echo that also.
Yeah, definitely. Ditto and ditto. But on top of that, here's a misnomer that I think, from stepping back and seeing the events. Again, some of the biggest opportunities for me or any of the businesses that I've been involved with came from the smallest events. But one thing that I seem to recall is a lot of people think that if there's an event going on, a ribbon cutting, for example, it's just the ambassadors that are invited. And I hope the message is out there that if there's a new business in town, the whole community should put their arms around that. You have no idea how, or to sometimes connect the dots on somebody that might be a dentist or something a couple doors down, how that's going to interact with your business, and if they follow, the plan that they have for success, they might be counting on you to come along with them, and so by that token, with the as an ambassador, you're not only versed in the benefits of becoming, involved with the chamber, but more importantly, know that the message is there's a new business coming to town, and they're going to need our support as much as you might count on them for theirs, to help your business grow.
You guys are all like spot on members. You've done what it took. We don't get people coming in the office any longer that raise their hand and ask what they can do. We're constantly, out there begging for the help and stuff. But what would you tell a new member to take advantage of, Anna, since you're one of our newer members?
Well, absolutely. As soon as you have the opportunity to join one of the TNT groups, to do that, we've made so many connections and have really boosted our business with that, just through those small things. And then with our expanded TNT mixers, where we're in the different communities now, because we've expanded to the Northern Chambers or the Northern Macomb. So attending those mixers, and consider becoming an ambassador. It sounds like something so much more, but it's really just keeping the connections and keeping in touch and being more of a liaison. So doing those, volunteering at the events, attending as many events, like you said, with the ribbon cuttings and things like that, as many as you can go out and put your face out there and introduce yourself and get your name. I think that's really where the ticket is people associate you with those type of events, and they get to put a name with the face.
Absolutely. Pat?
I would suggest to any new chamber member, find the first event that's open and do it. As Donna said, I'm sorry, as Anna, I know that, Donna. As Anna said, the networking opportunities that we have available to us, it's a great opportunity to move out of your comfort zone. I mean, like downtown Romeo is a comfort zone for some of us because that's where we started and that's where we feel known. But to reach out into Armada and into Richmond is a great opportunity. We've just taken a new member from Armada and had them join our TNT networking group. And the first thing we did, I had an event that I needed something for, and I talked to her and we put something together. And the neat thing was she delivered it to me on a Tuesday at our networking group, which gave us the opportunity then for the entire group to see a little more about what our Made in Michigan is all about. Mm-hmm. So these are great opportunities to get to know people and to get to know what their strengths are.
We often find members join just for the TNT groups, and they stay just in their TNT groups. But to that point, Pat, what is it that we could do better to get these TNT members engaged in attending our events that we're doing?
If they were assigned a job at the Emmas of maybe selling
Mm-hmm.
tickets for the baskets or selling tickets for the 50-50. That would get them out where they actually were forced to meet other people
Interact.
and
Yeah.
and interact, because that's one of the strengths that I found that worked for me. I've always got a ticket in my hand that I'm trying to sell.
Mhm.
But then people know who you are and you get to interact with them and get to know who they are and maybe what they do and how the two of you can complement each other in your business relationships.
I think that's a really good point, because if there's a reason to volunteer at the event, maybe checking people in. Sometimes if you go somewhere and if you're new, you may not know anyone. And so it's a little bit more uncomfortable for some people, for the newer ones. So if they have a reason to sell a 50-50 or check somebody in or something along those lines, I think that's a good opportunity.
Michael?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're wondering, like what event, usually our golf outing annually is always in need of as much help as we possibly can get on board. And that's a great place to meet and greet people, even if you're not golfing for the event. If you get, set or assigned to one of the holes on the golf course, you get to see the whole group that comes by. And usually that one event is so much fun and has been over the years. And if you don't know anybody in the chamber and you're at that event, especially if you're parked on one of the holes, you'll get to know everybody. And it's a relaxed and it's a fun day. So I've heard people come to me in the past and say, I don't want to join the chamber because I don't have time for all the meetings. There's no requirement that you have to go to any meetings, and the TNT groups usually fill up pretty quickly. However, I know that the TNT groups have also been very accommodating, even if you have two people in a similar service.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have two real estate agents, maybe one takes the commercial side, the other takes the residential, or you have an insurance company, one's writing industrial or commercial and one's writing residential or personal. We make it work. And those groups rely on the routineness of the meetings. And I will tell you, at this point, after so many years being involved with those groups, I'm glad that I am, because what are you doing in those groups other than building an extremely strong business relationship with people, like you said, Anna, that you can count on? I've been doing work with Pat since we first started the TNT groups, and it's been reciprocated like that. So if you don't, take advantage of those, you're missing an opportunity, and it might not happen immediately, but I bet you that happens eventually. And just recently, going through a real estate investment with Julie in our group, she was a godsend to have available to us at a moment's notice, and that goes way beyond what you could ask for in somebody in a different capacity. We wouldn't have the transparency or being able to text somebody a question or something like that, is because we're available, and those are the strong business relationships that you build in a little group like that.
Absolutely. And to me, you guys are the profile of a thriving chamber member. Reputable, dedicated, connected, community engaged, and growth minded. So, Pat, would you like to add anything else to this discussion?
Other than the fact that, as Mike mentioned, the relationships that we're developing in our group, we find that we have people that are available actually 24/7, because we had that expressed this morning in our meeting, that dealing with an out-of-state client, one of our members was able to refer somebody to Julie, and Julie worked on that Saturday and she worked on that Sunday. So you know that you can count on people to help you out when you need it.
Well, it's the relationships you build within the community of the chamber with the ambassador programs, the TNT programs. Anna, would you like to add anything to that?
Well, I think one thing that, another thing that we can add is that the exposure that you get. If you're doing your own personal event, the chamber promotes you not only through advertising and marketing of your event, but also promoting it to other TNT groups, and you have that availability. So you have, the support, and then, the involvement on it too, which is a huge thing, because when you're throwing a client appreciation event or something like that, you need all of that extra support. And it's just comforting to know that you have people that will be there for you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Michael?
I would say for people that are on the fence and whether they want to join the chamber or they have joined the chamber and they're at an event, make a point when you're at one of those events that you start to meet people and get to know them, remember their name, what have you, but also make a point to go out of your way to meet somebody that you haven't met yet and talk to that person and see if they're, I'm sure, much like Facebook does, that tells us all the time that here's somebody that wants to be your friend, and you have 6 other mutual friends. You might not know that. I'm sure that like Anna and I have probably done business, and I know that Pat and I have with some of the same, we share the same clients or customers. And I would say, take time at those events to seek out somebody that you haven't already met yet to get to know and bring them in. I know, there was a member here years ago that was part of a larger chamber. I don't remember his name at the time. He was a doctor. Do you remember, Kelly? But nonetheless, he was involved in a much larger chamber, and he appreciated the personalization and the closeness of our chamber only because it was smaller and it was very personal, and we immediately were able to deliver results or help him grow his business. And it was just a smaller group for him to pick from. So, my advice is, if you're looking to start up a business, even if you can't get into a TNT group because those fill up pretty quickly, not to worry. Just try to make time for the other events outside that. Eventually, there will be an opening, probably down the line, and then you can get on that list to get in, because those groups are highly sought after, I think, and they're a lot of fun, quite honestly, to be a part of. The TNT groups that meet routinely, as well as a lot of the other events. One thing that I'm seeing that really helps this year is just the forecasting of the events that are upcoming, and the constant reminders that we're getting now through social media or director's notes or publication, and just finding new mediums or ways to communicate with people. We all inundated with so much information coming at us. You might miss an email or something. So it's fun just to look and see what's coming up, what you can be part of, and put it on your own calendar, whatever calendar that you're using, whatever to be part of. Because like I said, the smallest events sometimes prove the longest lasting results.
One of the goals this year was to shore up the Ambassador Club. So I think, and you just brought up a point, people that join our chamber up here, yes, we are a smaller chamber, but they feel more connected, more welcome, just because of, we have ambassadors give a welcome call, as Anna indicated. We are hosting a new member breakfast on Thursday at Pamela's Catering with our board, the ambassadors, and our new members. So we just want them to feel welcome from the moment they come through our doors. But thank you all for joining us today. You guys did a great job on explaining the profile of a thriving chamber member.
Thank you for having us.
We have a few upcoming. I just mentioned the Ambassador Breakfast on Thursday at Pamela's Catering at 8 a.m. If you're interested, just give the office a call. We are working on our Richmond Trot in Taste, which will be held on August the 3rd. We're doing a 5K run and then a Taste of Richmond from till about 1:30 in the afternoon. That again is August the 3rd. And then, as Michael indicated, our 37th annual golf outing is coming up on September the 10th at Greystone. And that is, we typically sell out. And to Michael's point, what he said, if you can volunteer, you get to see everybody come past your home. Pat can attest to that. It's almost better than playing in it. Because you do see everybody come through.
It is better than playing it. Absolutely.
I don't know about that, but it's usually, yeah.
So with that, I'd like to thank you guys for joining me this afternoon, and we look forward to seeing you at our events.
Yes, we'll see you Thursday.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right.
This podcast is powered by the Mitt TV of Romeo, Michigan. If you're looking to start a podcast for your business or personal use, look no further than Mitt TV. They can get you access to equipment, a production engineer, and can even edit your podcast. That's all right here at Mitt TV of Romeo, Michigan, and you can contact them right now via email at mitt.tvromeo@gmail.com. That's mitt.tvromeo@gmail.com.